D Brown, March. Lord have mercy. It's too early in the morning, man. It is June 17th, 4:45 a.m. in the morning, man. 2026, Wednesday morning. As I sit here in the parking lot in Dallas, outside the hotel that I'm staying in, dropping our daughter off today. My topic is: do you really know somebody? A little deeper, man, because I thought about this when I hear these stories a lot, man. When I hear and I don't, sometimes I can't fathom this. Now, you're talking to somebody who's been divorced twice. I don't wear that proudly at all. But I know how chill I can be, but I also know how difficult I can be, right? But I also know that with my exes, and I definitely, like one of the beauty, I'm gonna say, it's just being human, right? You interact with different people from all walks of life. I've baseball parents, I've dealt with many times, business people, and just walking daily life. And once you kind of 48 years old, right? I've talked to many people. I've met many thousands of people all over my lifespan. And one of the things is, I try to observe people. I try to hear people's stories. I try to relate to them, or if I can't, I just sit back and I just listen. And I remember certain things that I never understood, but I understand. But I know it sounds crazy. One of the things that I struggle with is that somebody could be married 25, 30 years to a person, and all of a sudden, like, they're jumping up divorce, kids out the house, and just them. They worked hard to get the kids through college or in college, or their grandparents now, and they divorce after 20 something years of marriage. And I understand, like, marriage is hard, and Lord knows I understand that. But I sometimes it's just like, damn, like, y'all don't last this long. Why you just don't ride it out? I don't understand that, right? But then you start hearing these stories. It don't matter. It could be a man talking about their wife. It could be the wife talking about their husband or their ex husband, and you start hearing these stories of, like, well, he switched up. He did this. He started doing this. He started doing that. And I get it. Like, you know, right now I'm going through this transformation period in my life right now, right, where you know Carrington's going off to school. I'm now it's I'm always going to be a dad, right? But it's always like now it's she's transitioning to adulthood now, right? And so now I'm in a new part of my life where I'm not raising a teenager per se no more. A kid to a teenager. It's now our relationship is based off of I'm dealing with an adult now, right? He ain't all the way grown, but grown, grown enough, 18. And that's a whole different dynamic. And then even with our dynamic in our household, is like, okay, like, so how is this going to work now with, because we were so day to day, and our goal was Carrington and school and all of that. And now it's, she's in college on a full ride. So now it's different responsibilities. Now what? And sometimes, like, I would sit back, at least I'm going to talk obviously from a personal standpoint. Like, I would sometimes look in the mirror and I'd be like, man, do this person really know me? They didn't know. I mean, I know I'm not a kid anymore, but I'm like, do they know the snotty nose, what I'm saying, from the Bronx, who moved upstate, who done a lot of shit, good, bad, indifferent, like all the foundation of the family history, what I'm saying, that the family trauma or issues and that I've dealt with, my beliefs systems and all of that, because we be with people, and we in relationships and all of that. God knows I'm not a relationship expert, not definitely not a marital, like a marriage expert, nothing like that. But I deal with people. I know people. I deal with people from all walks of life. You could be from you know the ends of down south Mississippi, and come from you know money in Mississippi to a hood dude in New York or Oakland somewhere and got it out the mud. And there's relatability type issues and stuff that we all deal with. It don't matter what part of what race, what religion, what all of that sometimes don't even freaking matter, right? It has to do with like we all go through the same shit, right? We all want to raise our kids. We all want to have a beautiful life. We want to you know have a great relationship with our with our significant other, right? It's all the shit we strive for. But somehow, it's just two flawed individuals, right? A man and a woman that are flawed. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to make this shit work. And I like, even though it baffles me, but I understand like how somebody can transition somewhere in their life. You get tired of a person, the same shit that you loved about them early, that shit now makes you fucking vomit at your mouth sometimes. No, that was overboard. I get it, but it could be the transition where now you're used to them being fat and now they got skinny and now they feeling themselves a little different and you like, I love the fat person, all right? The insecure fat person. That motherfucker now, this dude or this woman now done lost the weight and now, they feeling themselves, all right? And now you start looking in the mirror and all it is a reflection on you now because, now you feeling a certain way, especially if y'all not on the same page, on the same team. And now you start resenting that person. I seen that with my own parents. Like I saw, like I felt like it was like my father would sabotage my mother trying to get healthy. And not to say that, you know, if he wasn't ready to lose weight and she was, he subconsciously would just be feeding her and doing stuff like that. And I'd just be like, yo, she trying to lose weight. Once you get on her, nah, I don't want to, whatever. As soon as she passes, he loses 60, 70 pounds. It could be wanting to start a business and you're together, you want to start a business and all of that. And because he or she sees you a certain way, it's hard for them to um, see you different outside of the box, and they end up hating the fact that you want to expand and do something, whatever, and they like you as the status quo. Now you start outgrowing each other instead of cheering somebody on. Sometimes I just feel like, do you truly know somebody? Because sometimes you don't even know yourself. Sometimes you're gradually getting to know yourself. I'm close to my 50. I don't deal with enough people to know that I hear these stories. I don't deal with a mother and sisters, relationships, and all of that when it comes to women in this age group when they start going through different changes and emotions and stuff. I've heard, okay, I just say I've heard, all right, that they start changing emotionally. Things start looking different to them. They start changing as people. I feel like dudes, we have that same thing too. Like I feel like I'm going through it. When you start losing people due to health reasons, you start seeing friends of yours that were extremely healthy passing away. Teammates of mine or dudes that I played against. I'm like, damn, like he's going. You start looking at your life like, okay, I need to clean my shit up because I'm like, it's too many good dudes, man, solid dudes that are dropping. So now you start internalizing what's really going on in your life, how you want to live your rest of your life. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. That's why you see me talking right now. All right. I mean, I don't. I've been on camera for many years now, but like this portion of D is the one who is the believing that I am changing as a person right now. I just lost my sister a couple months ago. I lost my mom's and my other sister 10 years ago now. Next week will be 10 years. I lost my mother. Next week, 10 years ago, I lost her, and it was health. Health failing, obviously, right? And so you start changing as a person. You start seeing things different. You start appreciating things differently, and you start changing. I believe that we could look back and be feeling like, man, I wish that I had I wish it was a we were like this, when we first started, and man, it was so good this portion of our life, and man, it was the marriage is so good, or the relationship was so good, but y'all were two different fucking people, man. And I guess I'm answering my own question, right? Because I'm saying, like, how do you not ride this out? But it's like you're changing and I'm changing, and we're seeing this. But how hard is it? Why is it hard to change together? Are we drifting that far apart that we are not seeing the same views and the same issues? And I'm not saying the same, right? But like, what happens? I know women change and dudes change too, man. That's what you see, the midlife crisis, right? You see guys that all of a sudden they're in their 50s or something, and they feel like they got to drop, go buy a convertible Corvette or a convertible Ferrari. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Right now, I'm like, I'm on my health kick. I'm taking peptides. I'm losing all this weight, and now I'm running up the steps now, and I'm like, I'm trying to do the things that I used to take for granted in my 20s. So I'm like, am I going through my midlife crisis? Does somebody who was in a relationship with me see me now will be like, yeah, he's totally different? I hope they do, and I hope it's for the better. But what if you're not ready? What if you're not ready for that change? I don't know, man. I just feel like, do you truly, truly know somebody? Because sometimes I believe in ourselves. We're constantly changing as people. We could be so steadfast, like I know who I am and all of that. Like, yeah, but no, I know who I want in a person and all of that. Yeah, but then you end up going to the same person that you said you don't want. I know who I am and comfortable in my skin. Yeah, you are, but you asked if you look good in the dress and you don't want the truth. I'm comfortable in my skin and all of that type of stuff. Yeah, but you walk with your head down, man, and we judging off of what somebody else is doing, and you get insecure and you feel a certain way because somebody else is doing something bigger and better than you wish you could do, and you hating on him, but you secure, you man, fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Ah, I don't know. Am I speaking too real this morning? Am I getting into certain topics and stuff that I shouldn't be? I'm outstep. Nah, man. It all kind of goes into, finding out who your true identity is at this, portion of your life. I don't care if you're in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Obviously, I'm not the same person I was in my 20s. I'm not the same person I was in 30. Hell, I ain't the same person I was just 6, 7 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Give grace to your partners. Give grace to your husband, your wife. Give grace to them. They're navigating this world too. They trying to figure this shit out. How I view shit 10 years ago is way different than I view shit now. And that's for real on every aspect of life. I know I ain't the same person.